Humanity left the Galactic Council, returned with 1,000 armed ships. Humanity had once been proud to be part of the Galactic Council. The Council was a group of many different species that controlled the rules of space. They said they protected peace and trade. They said they shared knowledge and kept strong worlds from taking over weak ones, but humans did not feel protected. They felt watched, judged, and ignored. The Council had many rules. The rules were written in old languages and old ways. Many Council species believed they were better than humans. They believed humans were young and loud and dangerous. They said humans could not be trusted. Still, humans tried to follow the rules. They sent diplomats and scientists. They sent pilots and engineers. They tried to prove they were not a threat. Daniel Brooks was one of the best diplomats humanity had. He had a calm voice and a steady face. He could talk to anyone, even when they did not like humans. He had traveled to the Council's main world many times. He had sat in the Council Hall and watched the leaders of other species talk in slow, careful words. Lena Carter was a young engineer who worked on Council projects. She helped build the space stations where Council members met. She knew how the Council operated, and she saw how humans were treated. They both knew the truth. The Council did not want humans to be equal. They wanted humans to be controlled. The first sign of real trouble came from a small human colony on the edge of Council space. The colony was called Orion Station. It was not a rich place. It was a rough mining outpost, but the people there were proud. They had built their own homes. They had raised children. They had worked hard for years. One day, Orion Station reported a strange ship approaching. It was not human. It was a Council patrol ship. The patrol ship was huge and bright. It had the Council symbol on its side. The symbol was a circle with 3 lines inside it. Humans had seen it many times. It meant power. The Council ship landed near Orion Station. It did not send a message. It did not ask for permission. It simply arrived and opened its airlocks. A group of Council officers stepped out. They wore white uniforms and had calm faces. They carried weapons, but they did not look like they wanted to fight. They walked into the station and made their way to the main hall. The station leader, a man named Gary Mills, met them there. He was not a Council official. He was a miner and a father. He had a strong voice and a proud look. The Council officers said they were there to inspect the station. They said there had been reports of illegal mining. They said the station was breaking Council rules. Gary asked for proof. The officers did not give any. One of the officers, a woman with a smooth voice, said, "The Council has the right to search any colony within its borders. You will cooperate." He tried to say that humans were not part of the Council anymore, but the officers ignored him. The Council officers began to take control. They moved into the station's storage areas. They took equipment. They took fuel. They took supplies. The people of Orion Station watched in fear. They were not soldiers. They were miners and workers. They had no power. When the officers reached the station's main power core, Gary stepped forward. "This is ours," he said. "You cannot take it." The air system stopped. The lights died. The temperature dropped. The miners ran through the halls trying to find emergency systems. The Council officers moved calmly like they were walking through a museum. Gary shouted, "You are killing us." It was a human alarm. It meant that the station was being attacked, not by the Council, by something else. A dark ship appeared outside the station. It was not a Council ship. It was not human either. It was a pirate ship. The pirates had been watching the station. They had seen the Council ship arrive. They had been waiting. The pirate ship fired a missile. It hit the station's outer ring. A loud explosion shook the halls. Pieces of the station fell into space. The Council officers moved quickly. They ran to their ship. They left the station without helping. Gary watched them go. He felt anger and fear and shame. He looked at his people. They were scared. They were losing their homes. He turned to the station's communications officer, a woman named Lisa. "Send a message to Earth," he said. "Tell them what happened." It was a Council judge ship. It had a dark hull and a cold look. The Council judge ship sent a message to the station. "This station is now under Council control," the message said. "The Council has declared you a rebel colony. You will be shut down." It simply fired a small beam into the station. The beam made the station's main doors lock. The station's people were trapped inside. Then the judge ship left. The pirates returned the next day. They attacked again. This time they destroyed the station's communication arrays. They destroyed the station's defenses. The people of Orion Station had no choice. They had to leave. They gathered what they could. They packed supplies. They boarded small ships and fled into space. Some of them died. Some of them were captured by pirates. The rest drifted in small groups trying to find a safe place. Meanwhile, the council hall received the message from Orion Station. The message was short, but it was clear. Humans were being attacked. The council had taken their colony. The council had done nothing to stop pirates. The council members did not care. They saw humans as troublemakers. They saw humans as a growing problem. They did not want to help. Daniel Brooks sat in his office on the council world. He watched the message on his screen. He felt his heart grow heavy. He knew what would happen next. The council would say the humans were to blame. They would say the humans had broken the rules. They would say the humans had provoked the council. He knew the council would do nothing. Lena Carter was working on the outer stations. She had heard the news. She had seen the human ships leaving Orion Station. She had seen the fear in their eyes. She knew the council would not act. She also knew something else. Humans were not weak. Humans were angry. The council called a meeting. The meeting was held in a huge hall with tall columns. The walls were made of shining stone. The ceiling was high and it held a giant symbol of the council. Many species were there. They all sat in their own sections. They all spoke in their own languages. Humans sat in a small area. They were quiet. Daniel Brooks stood and spoke. "We are here because a human colony has been attacked," he said. "We ask for council action." The colony was within council space. It was in the border zone. It was a human world. The council cannot simply ignore it. "We built there because we had no other place," he said. "We built there because we were told to. We were told the council would protect us. We were told we would be treated as equals." Some of them stared at the council leaders with hatred. Daniel continued. "The council has taken our colony. The council has not stopped pirates. The council has not defended humans. This is wrong. They do not understand the balance of power. They must be guided. We have tried to follow the council's rules. We have tried to be good members, but the council does not see us as members." She had felt the council's cruelty. She raised her hand. She spoke clearly. "We are leaving," she said. "We are leaving the council." "You cannot leave. You are part of the council by treaty. You will lose your place in the galaxy. We will force you to stay. You are weak, you are small, you are nothing. We cannot wait for the council to destroy us. We will leave their rules. We will build our own future." The decision was made quickly, but the consequences were heavy. Humans packed their ships, gathered their people, and prepared to leave the only space they had ever known. Daniel Brooks stayed behind for a moment. He watched the council world from the observation window. The world looked calm, peaceful, and bright, but Daniel knew the calm was only a mask. Under the peace, the council was cruel and weak. He turned away. He had a new mission now. He needed to help humanity survive outside the council. The first thing humanity did was to leave the council's territory. They moved beyond the border into the dark space between the known worlds. They called this space the Void. The Void was empty, cold, and quiet, but it was also free. The human fleets traveled in long lines. They used old ships and new ships. Some ships were small, built for speed. Some were large, built for cargo and passengers. The fleets carried millions of people. There were families with children. There were old people who had lived through the council's lies. There were soldiers who were tired of being ignored. There were scientists who wanted to build a new future. Lena Carter was on one of the ships. She worked as an engineer, helping to repair and build new systems. She watched the stars through the ship's windows. The stars looked different out here. They were not bright and friendly. They were distant and cold, but they were also free. The human leaders set up a new government. It was not like the council. It was not a group of species. It was a human government. It was built on simple ideas, unity, strength, and freedom. Jonathan Pryce was chosen as the new leader. He was not a politician. He was a man who had worked on space stations. He had seen how the council treated humans. He had seen how humans suffered. He wanted to change that. Jonathan stood in front of a crowd of humans. He spoke in a clear voice. "We left the council because we were tired of being controlled," he said. "We left because we were tired of being ignored. We left because we are human. We will protect our people." She knew that leaving the council would be hard. She spoke quietly to a friend. "We have no allies. We have no protection. The council will not help us. The pirates will hunt us. The void is dangerous." The human fleets traveled deeper into the void. They used old communication networks. They used hidden routes. They avoided council sensors. They did not want to be seen. For years, humanity stayed silent. They did not send messages. They did not make contact. They did not ask for help. They did not show their ships. The council believed humanity was gone. The council believed humanity had broken apart. The council believed the humans had failed. The council returned to their normal life. They continued their trade. They continued their politics. They continued to ignore humans, but humans were not gone. Humans were building. The first step was to build new shipyards. The shipyards were hidden in asteroid fields and dark clouds. The shipyards were made of old council parts and new human designs. The shipyards were protected by layers of shields and mines. Lena Carter worked in one of the shipyards. She helped design a new type of ship. The ship was fast, strong, and deadly. It was not built for trade. It was built for war. The ship was called the Hawk. The Hawk was small, but it could carry powerful weapons. It could fly fast and hit hard. It was designed to strike first and strike hard. Lena worked with a team of engineers. They were tired, but they were determined. They worked day and night. They built ship after ship. Jonathan Price visited the shipyards. He walked through the halls. He saw the workers. He saw the machines. He saw the ships. He spoke to Lena. "You are building the future," he said. Lena looked at him. "We are building protection," she said. "We are building a warning." Eric Dawson led the training. He was a strict man, but he cared for his soldiers. He trained them in both technology and tactics. He taught them how to fight with smart weapons. He taught them how to fight in silence. He also taught them something else. He taught them to never underestimate the enemy. The human soldiers trained in virtual reality. They practiced against council ships. They practiced against pirate ships. They practiced against alien fighters. The training was hard. Many soldiers failed, but the ones who passed became strong. A young pilot named Jason Hill became one of the best. He was quick and brave. He could fly through asteroid fields and enemy fire. He became a leader in the new fleet. Jason's sister, Maria Hill, worked as a mechanic. She fixed the ships. She kept them running. She was proud of her brother, but she also worried about him. One night, Maria said to Jason, "If we fight the council, will we win?" The third step was to develop new technology. Humans needed weapons and shields that could compete with the council. They needed faster engines. They needed better communication. They needed stronger defenses. Claire Morgan led the science team. She studied the council's technology and improved it. She found weaknesses. She found new ways to build weapons. She found ways to hide human ships from council sensors. She also built a new type of AI. The AI was not like the council's. The council's AI was controlled and limited. Humans built an AI that could learn and adapt. The AI was called Atlas. Atlas was not a machine. It was a mind. It could think. It could plan. It could predict. Claire spoke to Atlas one day. "Will we be ready?" she asked. Atlas replied in a calm voice, "We will be ready when the council is not." He sent ships with supplies. He sent messages of unity. He told the colonies that they were not alone. Many colonies answered. They joined the new human government. They shared their resources. They sent their ships. Some colonies refused. They wanted to stay independent. They feared a new government. They feared another war. Jonathan did not force them. He tried to convince them. One colony called Nova Prime refused. Nova Prime was a strong world. It had many soldiers and many ships. It had its own leaders. It had its own rules. The leader of Nova Prime, a woman named Rachel, met with Jonathan. "You want us to join you," she said. "Why should we?" "Because the void is dangerous. Because together we are stronger. We will stay neutral." They continued to think they were safe. But humans were not waiting. Humans were building a fleet. Humans were building a force. Humans were building a future. In the void, hidden from the council's eyes, human shipyards produced ships at a fast pace. The Hawks were built in thousands. Bigger ships were built too, ships with strong shields and heavy weapons, ships that could carry troops. Ships that could fight for days without stopping. The human fleet grew. The human people grew, and the silence continued. The council did not know what was coming. They did not know that humanity was not lost. They did not know that humanity was preparing. They did not know that one day humans would return, and they would not return as weak members. They would return as a force. They would return as a warning. Years passed in the void. Humanity had built a strong fleet. They had built new technology. They had trained their soldiers. They had united many colonies. They had grown powerful in silence. The council still did not notice. The council still believed humans were weak. The council still believed humans were gone, but the humans knew the truth. They knew the council was not as strong as it looked. The council was made of many species. They did not trust each other. They were slow to act. They were full of pride. Human leaders knew the council would not expect them. The human fleet was ready. The fleet was not just a few ships. It was thousands. It was strong. It was organized. It was controlled by a central command. Admiral Nathan Hale was in charge of the fleet. He was a calm man with a sharp mind. He had spent years studying the council's tactics. He knew their weaknesses, he knew their strengths, he knew how to strike where it would hurt. Nathan stood on the bridge of the flagship, the new ship called the Titan. The Titan was a large ship built to hold many weapons and many people. It was not a council ship, it was not a pirate ship, it was a human ship. Nathan looked at the star map. The map showed the council's territory, it showed the border, it showed the main world, the council's heart. Nathan spoke to his second officer, Olivia Brooks. Olivia was young but smart. She had been a pilot, she had been a commander, she knew the fleet's ships like the back of her hand. "We are ready," Nathan said. Olivia nodded. "The fleet is in position, the ships are quiet, the council will not detect us until we choose to be seen." She had to make sure the council could not ignore it. Grace spoke. "The message is ready, it is simple, it is clear, it is not a threat, it is a warning." It read, "They have no ships. Humans have returned," he said. "Prepare the defense fleet." They stayed hidden until the council ships arrived. The council ships appeared in the dark space near the council world. They were bright and large. They had the council symbol on their hulls. The council fleet moved toward the human fleet. The human fleet remained calm. Admiral Nathan Hale spoke to his fleet. "Do not fire unless we are attacked," he said. "We are here to speak, not to start a war." A council officer sent a message to the human fleet. "Who are you?" the message asked. "What do you want?" "We left because you did not respect us. We left because you did not protect us. You will be punished." The council ships fired their energy beams. The beams moved through space like bright lines. They hit the human ships, but the human ships were ready. They activated their shields. The shields absorbed the beams. The human ships moved fast. They dodged. They changed direction. They fired back. The battle began. The council ships were powerful, but they were slow. They were built for control, not for speed. The human ships were fast and smart. They used tactics the council had never seen. The human fleet used the Hawks. The Hawks flew in groups. They hit the council ships from the sides. They used smart missiles. They used electronic attacks. They used silence. The council ships struggled. The council leaders watched the battle from the hall. They could not believe what they saw. "How can this be?" Verk shouted. "Humans are not supposed to be this strong." They kept the council ships away from the council world. They kept the council ships from reaching the council planet. After hours of fighting, the council fleet began to fall back. They were damaged. They were confused. They were afraid. Admiral Nathan Hale watched the council fleet retreat. He knew the council would not give up easily. He knew the council would come again. He knew the council would try to destroy humanity. He also knew something else. The council had shown its true face. The council was weak. The council was scared. Nathan sent another message to the council world. "This is your warning," he said. "We do not want war, but we will defend ourselves. If you attack us again, we will respond. We will not stop." The council leaders were silent. They did not know what to do. The council president finally spoke. "We must call a meeting. We must decide what to do." Humans were not afraid. The council had to decide. They could try to fight again. They could try to destroy humanity, or they could do something else. They could listen. They could negotiate. They could change. The council leaders did not like the idea of change. They liked power. They liked control. But they also feared war. They feared losing. They feared the human fleet. The council president looked at the leaders. He spoke slowly. "We will invite the humans to a meeting," he said. "We will try to make a new agreement. We will speak." The next day, the human fleet entered the council's space. The council world watched. The humans were not small. They were not weak. They were a force. The council leaders watched in fear. The human fleet arrived at the council hall. The human ships stayed in the orbit above the world. They did not attack. They did not fire. They waited. Inside the council hall, Daniel Brooks stood beside Admiral Nathan Hale. He looked at the council leaders. He saw their fear. He saw their pride. He knew this moment would change the galaxy. He knew this moment would decide the future. The council president spoke first. "Humans," he said, "you have returned. You have shown strength. But you must understand that the council rules still apply. We are not here to conquer. We are here to be recognized. We are here to be respected." He knew the council could not win a war. He knew the council could not ignore humans anymore. He spoke slowly. "We will consider your terms." The council had seen human unity. The council had seen a new truth. Humanity was not weak. Humanity was not gone. Humanity was back. After the meeting, the human fleet returned to the void. The council world was quiet. The council leaders were not sure what to do. They had seen human strength. They had seen human unity. They had seen a fleet that could not be ignored. The council held a new meeting. This meeting was not like the old ones. The leaders were not calm. They were not proud. They were afraid. The council president spoke first. "We must decide what to do with humanity," he said. "They have power, they have ships, they have technology, they have strength. If we allow them to exist, they will grow stronger. They will take our worlds." They did not like the idea of being equal to humans. They did not like the idea of change, but they also feared war. The council president spoke again. "We will invite the humans to the council hall. We will offer them a new agreement. We will offer them trade. We will offer them recognition. We will offer them a place in the galaxy." On the human side, Admiral Nathan Hale sat in the Titan. He watched the stars. He thought about the meeting. He thought about the council. He knew the council would try to trick them. He knew the council would try to control them again. He also knew something else. Humans did not need the council. Humans needed respect. Nathan called Daniel Brooks to the bridge. Daniel stepped onto the bridge. He looked at Nathan. "What are they planning?" he asked. Nathan answered, "They want a new agreement. They want to avoid war, but they will try to control us again." "Then we are ready. We offer you a new agreement. Meet us in the council hall." The council leaders waited. They looked at the humans with a mixture of fear and anger. The council president stood and spoke. "Humanity," he said, "we offer you a place in the galaxy. We offer you trade. We offer you protection. We offer you respect. We want equality. You are not part of the council. We can offer you a new agreement," he said. "You will be recognized as a sovereign power. You will be allowed to trade with council species. You will be allowed to join the council if you wish, but you will follow some rules. You will not interfere in council politics. We will build our own future. This is not how the council works. We will offer you a new agreement, but we want something in return." He knew the council wanted peace. He knew the council wanted control. He knew the council wanted a promise. He also knew something else. Humans could make a promise. Humans could keep it. Daniel nodded. "We will promise not to attack the council," he said. "We will promise not to take your worlds, but we will not promise to be controlled. We will not promise to obey your rules." He spoke, "Welcome back, humanity." Humans could build alliances. Humans could join the council if they wanted, but humans would not be controlled. Humans would not be judged. Humans would not be ignored. Outside the council world, the human fleet waited. They watched the council ships. They watched the council world. They watched the stars. Admiral Nathan Hale spoke to his officers. "This is a new era," he said. "We have one respect, but we must stay strong. We will build a future for them." Humanity had returned with 1,000 armed ships, but the ships were not just weapons. The ships were a promise that humans would protect themselves, a promise that humans would not be pushed around, a promise that humans would stand tall. The council world continued to exist. The council leaders continued to rule their species. They continued to trade and govern. But they did not forget the humans. They did not forget the day the humans returned. They did not forget the day the galaxy changed. And in the void hidden from the council's eyes, the human fleet continued to grow. They built new ships. They trained new soldiers. They developed new technology. They did not seek war. They did not seek revenge. They sought freedom. They sought respect. They sought a future, and they were ready, because humanity had left the council, and now humanity had returned.